Hi guys, for today's video I was going to tell you something that was actually happening here in my house. It's kind of like an update on my haunted house. We've not had very much activity except for the things that my son sees occasionally. But there has been a few things that happen, and one experience was just no other explanation for it. But I was going to tell you what happened. Here, this room is my office where I do most of my schoolwork, anything that I do work-wise, or my filming is where my filming setup is, just where I do anything pertaining to getting something productive done. So I'm in this room most of the time, and I just reorganized it in here so it's not the layout that it was whenever this happened, because this happened a week or two ago, and I just rearranged this room probably last week. And I had a love seat in here that I moved out of the room and moved different furniture in, but in front of that love seat was this huge ottoman that went with the love seat, so that got took out too. But before I was moving this stuff in the room, the ottoman, which is extremely heavy and it was hard for me to move anyway, I had to have help to get everything out, but this ottoman is extremely heavy and the best way to move it was to scoot it, especially for a weakling like me. But what happened was this ottoman, just randomly, while it was just sitting still on the floor with nobody around it, it literally just picked up one side of it. So one side of it leaned all the way up and fell back and crashed against the floor. And like I said, it's really heavy, so it vibrated everything in this room and made a really loud thump. And Dean and Raiden both were in here whenever that happened, so all three of us experienced this, and there was absolutely no explanation because this is something extremely heavy. And I was actually surprised that a spirit lifted something that heavy or whatever it was. But that was just really interesting to me because that's something that happened before all of our eyes, and there's just no other explanation for it. And it was really interesting. My son found it quite humorous because right after that happened, he said, "My papa sure does like to get our attention," which really caught my attention, him saying that. I don't know. He didn't go into much detail. I try not to question him much about any of his experiences. I just listen to what he has to tell me. I don't want to lead him into anything, if you know what I'm saying by that. I just don't want to feed him any information. I just like to hear what he has to say and make of it what I can without actually feeding into it and giving him any information to kind of grow his sightings on, if that makes any sense. But one more thing I was going to tell you guys, which pertains to my son and this haunted house, was I was actually in his room organizing his toys, and I didn't know what he was doing. He had been in the living room playing or something, and he came to join me in his room, and he's just going through the toys with me because I tried, this doesn't work for a child, and I have no idea why I do this, but I guess OCD kicks in. And I try to organize his cars with his cars, his army men with his army men, you know, in little bins, and it only lasts like a day, so I don't know why I put all the effort into it. But anyway, he came in there and he was helping me kind of find the things that goes into each bin. And he stopped and he looked at me and he said, "You're going to hear a knock in a minute, but don't worry, that's just Tammy." And sure enough, there was 2 knocks on the wall probably less than a minute after he said that, which has really intrigued me ever since. I don't know. He's just, I guess, able to sense a lot more than I am, and like I said, I just try not to feed any information into him. I just listen to what he has to say, and I'm just always there for him without trying to go much farther. I don't try to get him to dabble into anything. So that's just some of the little updates that's been happening in my house recently, and there's of course other little unexplained things that doesn't really matter as much, so we won't even go into detail because everybody has those things where they can't really explain, but it's just smaller things, you know. So that's the things that's happened lately here in my house, and I do feel something every now and then. It's more, I don't know, it's not a bad feeling like I had when we had everything else going on prior to the removal of the negative entity. But I just wanted to give you guys a little update on my haunted house, or my haunted life, I guess. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did. Let me know if you've had any activity in your home. And thank you guys so much for watching. I love each and every one of you. You guys are the absolute best. Don't forget to subscribe if you've not already. I'll be posting a new video every Wednesday and Sunday. And until then, bye guys.